You're listening to Achtung Millwall, broadcasting from the beautiful South Birmingham. Accept no substitute.
Hello, good evening and welcome, dear listeners. Welcome to the Den, this cool Tuesday night for the visit of Birmingham City, 17th place Birmingham City. Visited last night. The culmination of the season is drawing fast upon us, dear listeners. And this one's kicking off at 8 o'clock because it's live on Sky TV. The whole evening has been thrown out of my regular schedule. I'm normally tucked up in bed by 9 o'clock with a mug of Complan, dear listeners. But not tonight. We've got big time football on the agenda here at the Den after that excellent result, if not always at times. Excellent performance versus Preston North End at the weekend, 2-0 win. The big question for me tonight is, will Birmingham be mentally on that EasyJet plane to Faliraki that I mentioned to Harry in our post-match conversation on Saturday? Your Lions team, dear listeners, for this crucial match, I'm making it a must-win. Jules Long and goal, backline changes tonight. Scott Malone comes in for the injured Murray Wallace. We've got Jake Cooper, Sean Hutchinson, Danny Mack across the backline. Defensive two, Billy Mitch, and possible player of the season, Jules Saville. The attacking three, Oliver Burke, Zian Fleming, Vogel Sammer. Up front, my choice of player of the season, Tom Bradshaw, sitting on the bench for the Lions tonight. Bart Bielkowski, George Evans, Jamie Shackleton. Callum Stiles makes a welcome return to the squad. Duncan Watmore, Mason Bennett and Roman Essay, dear listeners. As I say, big match. A win tonight could potentially, depending on other results, put us 6 points clear of the Preston-Coventry duo, depending on their results this midweek round of fixtures. Tonight, Tuesday, tomorrow night, Wednesday. We don't support betting on this show, listeners, as you well know. But I'm just looking at the Sky Bet playoffs race graphic. A meme was put up on the net earlier on. Luton in third position, 100 to 1 on, qualifying for the playoffs. Oddly, Middlesbrough are given no odds, not available, but they must be very close odds. Millwall 9 to 2 on to qualify for the playoff race. And then Blackburn 15 to 8. Coventry 9 to 4. I should have been doing my John McKirrick tic-tac signs whilst I read that out, shouldn't I? Anyway, here come the teams. I believe they're lined up in the tunnel on the big screen. We're waiting for the entrance to the two sides, dear listeners. Birmingham wearing red tonight, red shirts, red shorts. Mill, of course, in dark blue and white, as you would expect and hope for. Strange red design on the Birmingham shirts. A little bit like you've got a nice red football shirt and used it to clean your hands after you've been doing some work in a car engine. It's got like smears of some sort, probably some trendy design by some hip marketer somewhere. So Roman Essay sits on the bench. Gary Rowett is speaking about Roman. Says he's got lovely quality when he gets on the final third. But also, you've got to do the other side. He wants the work rate out of Roman Essay, I think. There were a couple of times Saturday where people ran off Rom, and that's something he needs to improve on to give him that trust to start games. He's a talented boy though, says Gary Rowett. He's only 17 and he's going to make some mistakes. Probably that's why he's not starting tonight. Then filling up a little bit now, but no, by no means a full house, dear listeners. So teams are lining up. Millwall will, as you would hope, be attacking the away end in the first half, as per the advice laid out in the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle by the ancient and venerable Bede, writing in 9th century Anglo-Saxon England, who said Millwall must always attack the away end in the first half and ye cold blow laney end in ye second half. I think that word for word, verbatim, by the venerable Bede there, dear listeners. Biggest game since the Fulham game, I suppose. When was that? 2018, the near miss run under Neil Harris. It all fell apart a little bit that night and afterwards. I'm probably going to make it, given our league position, the biggest game really at the Den since the 2002 infamous playoff night against Birmingham City. I shan't dwell on that for too long, but I suppose you could have made an argument for Fulham. Long throw in here from Zian Fleming inside the first minute. Ball bouncing around in the Birmingham penalty area. That's headed clear. Murray joining Charlie Cresswell and George Honeyman as exiting the season. Their season is over pretty much, going by the articles on London News Online. I don't think we'll be seeing any, and that's a shame because Murray Wallace has been a huge contributor to the season, as indeed has George Honeyman. Charlie Cresswell too. He went in for some eye surgery. I saw some kind of post-operation. So I'm going to send my best wishes to Charlie Cresswell because he's been a massive help this season. He's had massive performances from Charlie Cresswell. A sloppy work there by Joel Saville. This is the 7 now on the right side, ball into the frame. Danny Mack gets clattered and the referee does give a free kick. But it's the High Rollers table, dear listeners. We're at the Flamingo Mirage Bermondsey Hotel. We're at the High Rollers table. We have Premier League football on the table, potentially, if results smile upon us, if we get a win tonight. Lions in possession. This is Jake Cooper deep in defence. There's another moment of hesitation. We can't afford to do that. The ball gives the ball away in midfield. A couple of little moments there tonight, listeners. Jake's tracking back. The winger went down looking for a penalty there. Come towards the 4th minute, appealing demonstratively to the referee, wasn't having it. Under pressure from Jake Cooper. A little self-inflicted errors there, listeners. Let's calm our nerves. Let's have some chamomile tea and do a bit of meditation, calm ourselves. How's your nerves? My nerves are shot through at the moment after Saturday, and we've got successive games of this kind now. It's pressure football, under pressure. Tom Bradshaw gets clattered by the 31, so that wins us a free kick, a chance to slow things down, and free kick just inside the left side of the Birmingham half. Where's my graphic? I dig out these graphics for you, listeners. Something I saw. Millwall scored more championship goals from set pieces, 23 since for any time this season, from any team this season. Lions midfielder Ian Fleming has 8 set piece goals, making him the most prolific player from these positions. That's thanks to Playmaker Stats. I'm not going to turn this into a stat-based podcast, but I dug that one out special, same as the betting one. Floated ball from Scott Malone, that's in towards Sean Hutchinson, runs out wide right. This is Berkey, very familiar for me, Berkey. Saville now on the right side. What can Joel Saville do? He's got Burke on the inside, he fires it into the near defence. That's going to be a right-sided corner, dear listeners. Better from Millwall. In it comes, it's into the head of Joel Saville, free header. Loops it over the bar, big chance, 8 minutes. Probably will feel he should have done better. Burke goes past his man, what can he do? Can he get the ball in? It's straight into the goal. That's better though, that's better. Nice run and cross was straight at the goalkeeper, unfortunately, but on another occasion that won't be. Good work there by Scott Malone. Referee gives a free kick, the slag. I thought that was good work personally. The 18's gone down now, clutching his face. Who knows what that's all about? Very long break. Being invited to leave the pitch now. He's walking okay. Bit early for all that nonsense, my man. 12 minutes in. Long diagonal towards Oliver Burke. Gets a head to it. Can he chase it down on the right side? He can. Goalkeeper came out a long way there. If he takes it quickly, we have taken it quickly. Oh, the referee's pulled play up. The goalkeeper's gone down. Open goal. The referee's pulled play up because the goalkeeper slid into a tackle and has hurt himself. So the strong disagreement at the Den, listeners. Well, the goalkeeper came out a long way and slid into a tackle. I think professionally stayed down. He's walking away now. This is put the fire in the belly of the Den if he needed it already. He's trotting back. I think he pulled that as a little stroke for the referee. Tactics clearly to try and break play up, stop any kind of rhythm being built by Millwall. Great to see Callum Stiles back in on the bench tonight, listeners. Whether he'll feature tonight, possibly. Been out since February. Seems longer than that somehow, but great to see him back in the squad. They're all trying to pass the ball. I don't think we're naturally a passing side. We can't keep punting the ball forwards, that's for sure, but equally we don't look comfortable when we're passing. Very clear what their tactics are, listeners. Delay, break play up, roll around. You name it, the full range of what they call game management. A phrase I hate. I don't know why I'm using it. It's taken short, this right-sided corner. In it comes now, across on the right side, it's bouncing around now. Millwall will get a chance to break. This is Oliver Burke. Vogelsam was overlapping him on the right side. Ball floated in towards Burke. It's headed away from him at the last by the Birmingham defence. Nice break there. Real force of throwing. Nice break. The ball in was a little bit too close to the central defenders. 22 minutes, halfway through the first half. It's been a very bitty half, mostly composed of Birmingham rolling around on the floor. A little bit of aimless play at the moment. Zien trying to put a ball forwards, but there's no one there. Birmingham bring away. Cuts inside on the left, the 17. Running directly at the Mill defence. His ball's through, there's the 10. Trying to fire it in. It's 1-0 Birmingham from a very, very tight left-sided angle. 1-0 Birmingham. Oh, listeners. Why do we make these problems for ourselves? Ball break down the left side. I thought that he'd taken it too far. The goalkeeper came out, but he done very well to slide it in that tight angle. You'll see it on your YouTube replays, of course, listeners. We're going to see even more of Birmingham's tactics now after that. Wouldn't be Millwall if it was easy, listeners, would it? Millwall being pressed by Birmingham. We're passing the ball back and forth across our back line, but I am never comfortable when I see this, listeners. Perhaps I've been going down Millwall for too long. Become jaded with... that was a nice break there. This is Zian Fleming in midfield. He wins the ball there. He's been taken there by the 31. Free kick Millwall. This is shootable distance. Zian's been criticised for the quality of some of his free kicks. That's a yellow card there. 33 minutes. Going to be a fairly central free kick. So probably about 30 yards out. 30 yards out, I'd say. Takes great care over the placing of the balls, Zian. 34 minutes on the stadium clock. A few steps back. Looks like he's going to shoot. Let's see what he can do. It's been disappointing at times, but let's have a go. Oh, that was power and that was inches over the bar. Looks like the goalkeeper got a hand to it. Rightfully applauded. That was a decent strike. Left-sided corner. 34, coming towards the 35th minute. It swings away from the goal, rather. Back into the fray from overhead kick from Zian. Scott Malone blasts it into the first defender. Header into the danger zone. Oliver Bird does a strange kind of chest down. Shot wide. I think that was Jake Cooper. Took and turned shot wide. No real power and certainly not accurate in the sense of being wide of the right side post. Goalkeeper's gone down again, listeners. Looks like he's taking a slow walk out of the game. Bit of a scrappy in midfield for Millwall so far, 39 minutes. We have got the ball here, deep in our own defence. This is Danny Mack and Sean Hutchins. I think Birmingham have been pressing us deep and we're not very comfortable when we get impressed in defence, listeners. Don't need me to tell you that. There's a long ball forwards trying to find Tom Bradshaw. That's not good enough, unfortunately. It falls to Zian, but it's going to go straight to a red shirt. Tom Bradshaw having a hard time as a single man up front. He's not winning much in the air, listeners. Put himself in there physically. But it's been a difficult half for him so far. Millwall's tactics haven't really created much in the way of chances. Probably our best chance really has been that Zian Fleming free kick, the dead ball situation. But from open play, we've had a few crosses in, but nothing really to write home about so far. Coming towards 41 minutes. The two Birmingham subs are just standing around by the corner flag. Anyway, in comes the corner. It's headed on target. Oh, it's put wide by Jake Cooper. Should have done better, listeners. Should have done better. Reminds me of the earlier chance. Was it Jules Savard had a header, didn't he, at the start of the game? Put wide. That's another free header. Put wide. 42 minutes. Referee seems averse to showing yellow cards for the amount of time these people are taking. Lovely little overlap. This is Oliver Burke. All back. This is Zian Fleming. He can't control it. A moment there where I thought we might be able to get the ball. Lovely cross back from Oliver Burke. Mill pressing though. This is now Vogelsam slams it into the defender. Zian Fleming just could not get control of the ball there. He had his back to goal in any case. Chuck it up there, the man says, and we haven't done much else than that really so far. farting around. We've got the last few seconds of the half. 15 seconds to be precise. We're still messing about. It's going to have to go forwards at some stage because we're going to run out of time. The crowd getting frustrated. That's lumped forward. This is towards Vogelsammer. What can he do? He does well to get the ball. Can he get a shot away? Over the bar. Unlucky. He did well to get the ball under control. There's half time. Millwall 0, Birmingham 1 at the half. Very frustrating half for football listeners. A couple of chances, a couple of headers for Jules Saville, and then that Jake Cooper one late. And the free kick from Zian Fleming springs to mind, but otherwise a lot of frustration.
Achtung, Millwall.
Mill coming out for the second half. Few calls on the Twitter for things to change at half time. Go for it. Bring in Romain Essay on from various voices, too numerous to mention here, dear listeners. I don't think we've got any changes at half time. Just waiting for Birmingham. They will take their time. It's been their style across the whole of the game so far. Very, very frustrating first half. Let's hope the second half brings a bit more in the way of Millwall excitement. Early ball nod down. The 17 shoots from distance. That was a deflected shot. Well saved by Jules Long in goal, I believe. I saw some criticism of Jules Long for the goal. I thought it was a finish from a tight angle, but he did very well to save that one, listeners, within just seconds of the kick-off. Mill dicing with death in defence, but playing the ball backwards and forwards. Danny Mack now on the right side. He finds Vogelsammer, gets the ball into the middle, headed straight at the goalkeeper. Who was that? Zian Fleming. Another chance, dear listeners. Goes big in 51 minutes. No real power on the header. Burke gets dispossessed very limply. Oh, for God's sake. Anyway, we win the ball back there. Very limply conceded. As we do bring the ball forward, so I won't moan too much. That's a long ball for Vogue. He does brilliantly well to get a head to that. This is Zian Fleming now in the centre. He gets dispossessed. Again, we're giving the ball away very cheaply in midfield, listeners. 53 minutes, 54 nearly. Tension, powerful ball in the air. Ball into Danny Mack. Almost gets clipped. This is Billy Mitch. 17 gets lovely tackle. Billy Mitchell on the right side. Ball into the middle. Across the face of the goal. Off the line. One of those evenings is going to be, listeners. Birmingham on the break now. Ball in from the right there. It seems to stick on the line almost. I'll have to see it again. Nice work midfield. Billy Mitchell combining with Scott Malone. Crosses the halfway line. 56 minutes. He's got Vogelsammer on the right side now. He's going to take his man on. He does. He checks. He's not a natural beater of a man, Vogel. This is Jules Saville. Goes to the penalty. Back to goal. He finds Scott Malone, blasts it high over the bar. Shot, pretty much had space to time to pick his space there, but he put it high over the bar. 56 minutes. 61 minutes. Coming to 62, in it comes. It's bouncing around. The referee's not going to give anything for Millwall. There's a house for, I presume, a foul, but nothing given. That's into the mix. It's gone for a goal kick. The referee is standing for every three-card trick in the book. He seems like a rather limp, weak-willed, milky type of individual, referee. Being made a mug of by Birmingham, and he's not showing any urgency to keep the game moving. And they're working him over, listeners. They're working him over. Long ball, right angle towards Vogelsammer. It runs through to Danny Mack on the right side. What can he do? He gets a deep high cross into the box. It almost falls to Scott Malone. Oh, he's shot off, scuffed off the line by the goalkeeper. Not enough power on the ball there from Scott Malone. He was free inside the box, but the goalkeeper got down well, batted it around for a right-sided corner. 63rd minute. Great tackle there by Vogelsammer. That's what the crowd will see, good Millwall tackling. Billy getting stuck in there. The crowd roaring that on. You will please a Millwall crowd, you give them some solid, hard ball tackles. Zian spreads play. This is now Oliver Burke on the left side. He couldn't bring it under control. That should go for, no, not a corner. That is a corner, left-sided corner, 65 minutes. Comes towards the halfway point of the second half. We are starting to create chances, if that gives you any comfort at all. by the time you hear this, you'll know what the result is. So I don't know why I'm talking to you like, you know, you're hanging on my every word here. Like Edgar Allan Poe's Raven, we're tapping at the door. Let's hope it don't say never more. Right-sided corner, I don't know what I'm prattling on about either. 66 minutes. Malone to take. It's chipped into the middle. Runs across the face of the goal. Referee blows up for something or other. Probably not having ID on him, or, you know, presenting himself to vote without any ID on him. Billy Mitch picks up possession inside her own half. 67 minutes. It's been increasingly a tension-filled half of Millwall pressing forwards, creating chances, much more than in the first half. But as we reach the halfway point in the second half, that elusive goal still just out of our grip. Over a little back heel, this is Oliver Burke. Oh, shot wide right. From the edge of the penalty area. Jake Cooper picks the ball up nicely. Can he find Burke? He can, on the left side. Who cuts inside. He's got Malone overlapping on the left. He checks nicely. Oh, when it gets it all, his cross seemed to be like, I don't know, he didn't catch it right, let's put it that way. I'm trying to find the right way to put that. It's going to come up with some politically incorrect description of what he did there, but he just didn't get it right. Let's leave it there, listeners. Come to 69 minutes. This is Saville on the right side. Vogie, we're playing the ball around nicely in the second half. It's into Tom Bradshaw. He gets nothing given there. I thought he looked like he'd been clipped from behind as he had his back to goal. Referee's not forgiving anything though, listeners. Part of the international lizard conspiracy to keep us in the championship. This is Fleming, long cross, and Vogie almost calls it on the volley, just couldn't get anything on it. It would have been a spectacular chance. It was in front of the goal. The cross came in, he had to catch it in the air, and it just wasn't up to it in the end, listeners. Looks like substitutions. Looks like Styles and Watmore are going to come into proceedings, listeners. 21 is Vogel. He's done well tonight, Vogel. He had a late opportunity there, just couldn't take it. Comes in for Watmore, and Styles comes in for 17, who is Saville. So Styles is 17, Saville's come out. It's been a better second half as it's gone along from the Millwall perspective. Overall, this remains a very frustrating situation. What are we now, 77 minutes into a game that we really wanted to win. And as it is, we will do well to get anything out of it at all at the minute. Still that one goal behind. Birmingham substitution, the 10 is taking forever to walk off the pitch now. If referees don't show yellow cards for such blatant time wasting, then there's not much point in having the rule about time wasting, in my opinion, listeners. I know I'm sounding like one of those old gits that you get in the public bar of northern pubs, but that's the truth of it. Unless they're going to punish it, which doesn't happen, then teams do it to their heart's content. Oliver Burke, what can he do? Goes past his man. Got red shirts in front of him, unfortunately. Inside is Styles. Styles shoots. Oh, ball bouncing around. The goalkeeper. The goalkeeper collects. The shot from Styles. It fell in the path of Bradshaw. The goalkeeper got down and managed to get his body between him and the goal. Romanese, Mason Bennett coming into the game. Looks like it's going to be Burke to come out. 83 minutes. 7 minutes plus added time for Romanese to try and make some impact on the game. It's going to be Tom Bradshaw. He's run himself into the ground tonight. Had a very difficult game, really. Ball out wide. This is Danny Mack. Ball's into the central zone. It's bouncing around. No one can get a clear shot on goal there. It's hoofed away by the Birmingham defence. Pressure late in the game from Millwall, but no end product, listeners. How many times have we said that this season? This is Billy Mitchell into the box. Ball's bouncing around. Jesus Christ almighty. Not been our night at all, listeners. We've created chances in the second half. We haven't taken them. Poor ball there by Billy Mitch. He's got work to do there. Can he get there? No, the ball is on. This should be a chance for Birmingham. Oh, great save there by Jules Long, and somehow Mills scuffed the ball clear on 88 minutes. It's been a very disappointing night from the Millwall perspective to have gone behind from what looked like a fairly sloppily allowed goal in the first half, and then to effectively press and not score, which has been one of our downfalls all season. It's made for a very, very frustrating evening. This is the 6. Twisting and turning, trying to draw the free kick, which he does quite well. 6 celebrating that free kick like he's won the World Cup. Now he wants to have a go at the crowd. That's never good, is it? He wants booking for that. He was in trying to antagonise the crowd. He's trying to provoke a situation there, listeners. Let's get it right. This is the 6 we're talking about. I don't know what his name is. Silly boy. Trying to do his best to whip up the crowd. There it is, 1-0 Birmingham. Very, very disappointing result. Overall, a fractured performance by Millwall, not good enough by a long way. And as Neil Fissler said on one of our shows recently, the Serious Fraud Office will need to be called if we do somehow clamber into the Premier League. There it finishes, Millwall 0, Birmingham City 1. Very, very poor show.
Achtung, Millwall.
Hello?
Hello Nick, Bill Slack. I've just got back after they shut the bridge at Goresbrook and then shut the A13, which topped off a really lovely night for me. I'm stuck over in Essex because I met a succession of Essex girls and married the wrong one. Now I'm stuck in a loveless, sexless marriage, which is a cheery thought after that tonight. We were unlucky tonight not to score. I don't think anyone comes away from there thinking that we shouldn't have scored, but fuck me. You sometimes wonder what you're watching and what the game plan is. You know, I tweeted at half time that Bradshaw has challenged in the air 29 times and not won a single header. And I watched in the second half, he won 1 header. I mean, he must have had the ball pumped up to him 40 or 50 times. Might be a bit of an exaggeration, let's say 30. What is going on in Rowett's head where he's looking at that? He's watching his centre halves punt the ball up to the shortest centre forward in the division. Time after time after time after time, and the ball just comes back to us. That aimless chip from Hutchinson. He reminds me of Alan McCleary, who always looked up and looked like he was a cultured footballer before he lofted it into no man's land back in the day. And Hutchinson, that's where the goal come from. Hutchinson, ball comes down to him and he just kicks it. He don't look up, he don't look round him to see if he can control it. He just kicks it, gives the ball straight to them. Danny Mack gets turned, and George Long. I just don't know what to say anymore. You know, Bart was he player of the season 2 seasons on the spin, and we got Millwall supporters saying that he's not as good a keeper as George Long because George Long can kick it. George Long's distribution. Don't fucking talk to me about George Long's distribution. That ball in the second half, he kicked straight to their keeper, the other end. I'm just not having it. I'm telling you, they don't score that goal if Bart's in goal. And I'm sick to fucking death of Millwall supporters thinking that we're fucking Man City and we need to have a fucking ball-playing keeper. We don't. We need a goalkeeper that saves shots. As for Watmore, fucking what less? Do you know what I noticed about him? And I thought I was being picky. He don't take the fucking ball with him when he's got the ball at his feet. He must have done it 8 or 9 times now since he's been at the club. He fucking runs away from the ball and the ball's behind him. How many times has it hit him on his heel? That's the quality we're signing in January. Duncan Watmore. Duncan Watmore and Mason Bennett come on before Eze. Eze comes on at 84 minutes. Vogelsammer Jesus Christ. That geezer, he has not got one redeeming feature as a footballer, and I've never seen such mediocrity in a Millwall player that keeps getting picked and keeps starting, and that's our problem. That's our problem. And again, broken record time. We never signed a fucking striker in January, and everyone says, oh, well, there weren't anyone available. We've got a whole fucking team of people at the Den. It's their fucking job to scout this country internationally, to build networks, to build contacts, and we can't sign a single striker. I'm not saying that we could have afforded or we would have brought a striker in to make a difference and score 20 goals between January and May. But what I am saying is it would give us another option. You know, Bradshaw goes off. We ain't got another striker. We're a championship club. We're sitting 5th and we've got one striker in the club. That's what's gone wrong. That will go down as one of the biggest mistakes in Millwall's history. We should be home and hosed in them playoffs this year, and we ain't. And we ain't because Rowett's too cautious. Eze, 84 minutes. Get your fucking head round that. Fuck's sake. Yeah, on to Wigan. Cheers, Nick. See you soon. Come on, you Lions. Oh, cheers.
Morning, Nick. Just a few words about last night's performance. I thought I'd wait till this morning to calm down because I was so disappointed, mate. Just like the whole ground was last night, just so disappointed. Okay, first thing I just wanted to say is their goal. Danny Mack completely sells himself, against that Cadra, who's a very, very good player. You know, Cadra and Chong, the two guys on their wings, they were causing us no end of problems. But, you know, when Danny sells himself like that, and then, so that's the first mistake, obviously. And then the second mistake, why does Long come off his line? Like, people were saying that the mistake is like the pansy dive over the ball. That's not the mistake. The mistake is, in my opinion, is that Cooper is ushering Jukovic out to the right, so Jukovic has to shoot at an angle. So why Long makes the decision to leave his goal line is beyond me. If he stays on his goal line, he just simply picks the ball up. It's a crazy decision for him to come out when Cooper is ushering him out towards, away from the goal, basically. Long makes the mistake of coming out, and that is crucial in their goal. It's a 100% Long mistake after Danny's mistake, obviously. He does not need to leave his line, in my opinion. And then, obviously, we had chance after chance after chance. I watched the highlights this morning, and obviously, when you watch the highlights, when Bradshaw follows up Styles' shot, Watmore's just standing beside him. If he just slips the ball to Watmore, it's an open goal. He just slips it in. But, listen, the keeper makes a good save. But the biggest glaring miss for me, and I'm behind that goal, is Fleming's header. Fleming has a clear head, a free header. He literally just has to head it either left or right of the goalkeeper. He can't save it, and he heads it straight into his arms, All the guys around me were screaming for substitutions. I wasn't, because we were knocking on the door. We were bombarding them, and I thought that the substitutions, although Styles was fantastic when he come on, the substitutions just killed the momentum of the game. And listen, credit to Birmingham, the shithousery, time wasting they done. I would have been proud of Millwall if we'd have done that. And they killed the crowd, they killed the players. The ref, how the refs only given 5 minutes at the end is beyond me, because I think that triple substitute took 5 minutes. But listen, frustrated, but I'm still positive. It's completely in our own hands. We had 22 shots on goal. I know we keep saying this, we've done it at Hull. We've got to start putting the ball in the back of the net, and we can't keep blaming We can't keep putting it all on Fleming and Bradshaw. The other guys need to step up. Burke needs to start scoring. I'm a massive critic of Vogelslammer. Last night was his best performance in my opinion. He played a lot better, but yeah, just disappointed. Look, I've been rambling on long enough now, but it's in our hands. We need to just win these 2 away games, and I think we're there. 7 points is 7 points, 100% gets us in there. So it's in our own hands. But yeah, very disappointed. But come on, you Lions, we can do this. Come on, catch you later, Nick.
Achtung, Millwall.
Huge thank you to the chaps there for those voicemail messages. Joining me on the show now to discuss last night's very disappointing result is Graham Payne. Welcome to the show, Graham.
Hello, Nick. Nice to be on, but not in great circumstances.
Not in these circumstances, no. What a frustrating match last night was, mate. I was just editing listeners my sound file from last night, and it's the same old story, Graham. I mean, we actually created quite a few chances across the game, but particularly in the second half. But it's a sucker punch goal and shithouse tactics by Birmingham, and we just haven't taken our chances. It's story of last night, and sadly, I think it's probably going to be the story of the season. We're not scoring enough goals, mate, are we?
We're basically reliant on 2 people scoring our goals. No one else has, really chipped in. I know Creswell's got a few, but no one else has really chipped in. And I think it's just a case of, I think teams have sussed out to play us, sit back, let Millwall come on to you. We can't break teams down. And the fact that in the last 6 games, 5 games, we haven't scored a goal. And that just says it all to me.
Yeah.
And all the 3 defeats.
Well, it's not good enough.
And the 3 defeats, Hull, Huddersfield and last night, they've all been the same sort of game. They get a goal and that's we can't break them down.
No. I mean, a lot of talk online. I've just been flicking through Twitter before you and I joined this call. A lot of people talking about the January transfer window. We've said it before. We'll say it again. We put all of our eggs in the Kevin Nisbet basket, the striker from Hibernian, I think it was. And then that went astray. Didn't work out. His injury was, felt to be too much of a risk for us, and we had nothing else in hand. Some people obviously go too far, but I do think there's criticism for the club in letting all of our current strikers at that time, and I'm thinking of Bennick, who maybe wanted away, Graham, wanted to get away to Dubai, but we've had, you can talk about Isaac Alofe. He was not, maybe he wasn't the best striker we've ever had, but he was a striker who would have given us something. By letting strikers go and relying really on Tom Bradshaw single-handed, and particularly I noticed last night, as we've said a few times, using Bradshaw as a target man, it begs a bit of belief, really, that it's such a basic error that I don't quite understand what the thinking was.
No, I think it's also been said. I think you can go back to the summer and all the recruitment. I know we got a phobia in, but we needed another striker. I know there's a lot of talk about the Nesbitt deal, but in the end, I think we went for him. He obviously had an injury and it fell through. And by then, I think it was too late. I understand they tried to get some guy from Stoke, I think it's Jacob Brown as well, and obviously Lyndon Dykes, and then nothing come of it. And the 2 they got were, I don't know, Burke and Watmore have not really done the business of to put it mildly. But.
No, particularly Watmore. Yeah. I mean, Burke, there's a conversation to be had about Oliver Burke. And it was conversation one way to put it, from the comments being made around me in Block 1 last night. But, Watmore is, I found disappointing. When he first appeared for us, I thought maybe there might be a bright player there, but he's looked progressively less and less of an impact at all. I will say Burke in the last couple of games has not been a world shaker, but he's looked livelier. He's used his attribute, which is pace, and he's had better games, but still nothing exciting, Graham. And I think that's the problem that we've had, that we just don't excite, do we? No. We don't bring the Den crowd into it.
No, I mean, the Den crowd, for the credit last night, I thought the crowd tried to get them going, especially second half. And, as you say, there was crosses going in, but I think probably the the Bradshaw one where the keeper saves it and he follows up. I think there was another one at the start with Saville. I don't know what that was down because we down the cold blow where he sort of, I don't know, he sort of missed it or something. I don't know, but no, we don't excite. And the problem with creativity has been there for a long, long while, Nick. It's not just something that's happened this season. We've struggled, especially from midfield, haven't we, for creativity for a long while. And unfortunately, as I say, at the end of the day, I think you've got to face facts, whether we make it or not. And it's looking 50-50 now, I would say. And the players maybe are just not good enough. If it comes down to it, you can't really fault their effort.
I agree. No. I mean, I wouldn't fault their effort last night. I mean, I've only seen the YouTube clips this morning. I haven't seen any of the longer highlights because I won't subscribe to the channel where you can get longer highlights. But I looked at the YouTube, and I think that was cut by a Birmingham City fan because it only showed their chances, didn't show any of ours. And there were chances. I mean, particularly as the second half wore along, it got more and more frenetic, Graham. But we did do our best, and we did get the ball in amongst it. And there were chances. I think Zian had there was a few headers across the game, first half and second half. But moments where perhaps on a different day, a slight, a yard wide of the goalkeeper would have gone in, stuff like that. And that's football. But we just don't have the dynamism across the team. And as you've said it rightly, that if Bradshaw and Fleming aren't on song, we're a little bit stuck for alternatives. And injuries have crept up on us, really, haven't they? I mean, we're missing again, as we have been for much of the season, some pretty crucial players now. Ryan Leonard not being around, even Murray Wallace to some extent, gives you an aerial threat going forwards as well as the defensive side. So, no, I think the basic point, you've made it correctly, that we do lack quality in the most fundamental sense, but we won't compete with these clubs in a money sense, will we? Unless it's a chicken and egg. Unless you get in the Premier League and get your parachute payments, you don't compete with the other clubs that have got it, and we're just not going to get that. So we have to recruit better, and this is another thing that people keep saying about Luton Town. Mick Harford, I think, is their main man, and a few comments online criticising Mill's recruitment. I suppose talking about January where we've let players go, but even last summertime, Graham, we don't seem to find the kind of unknown players, often British, English, Irish, Scottish, Welsh, that have come in. And Marku, the Irish boy we've signed, and he's disappeared. And we've had no luck. What is that, luck or is it poor judgment? I don't know. I don't know where the boundary line lies between the two. But we've got to do better, mate. We've got to find these players because that's the only way we're going to progress.
It is probably a cross between luck and judgment. But we have got to find better players. Recruitment, I think, for the last couple of years has been poor. This other guy bustled, and Alex Aldridge has come back, and. Yeah, I think January is always going to be a hard time to get what you want, really, because clubs are not going to let their better players go. No. Pay silly money, and Millwall are not going to pay silly money. So, I think it's a difficult one, January. I just think the summer should have been better. Looking back now, obviously, in hindsight, but I think the summer we should have got another striker indefinitely, and obviously the wide men. The formation Rowett wants to play. The two wide men up front have got to be real key, and we've struggled in that area all season, haven't we? Really, who's ever played out wide?
Absolutely.
No one's really, pulled up any trees or whatever you want to call it, playing in them positions.
No. I mean, I do wonder, going back to last summertime, the club's attention, but I mean the club in a wider sense, the Steve Kavanagh level sense. Possibly even the John Berylson sense, their attention's been focused on developing this training ground down at Kingsdown, and you do wonder whether that's where the focus of the club has been for longer than ideal, really, because certainly recruitment-wise, there's criticisms to be made. The other thing to say, I mean, and although we've done a very Millwall thing here, Graham, which is
had it in our hands and let it trickle through our fingers, you know, that like one of these old films, isn't it, where all the diamond slips through your fingers and goes down the drain or something, you know. We've got to put our arm down in the drain and get it out. I mean, the season is not over. There is still 9 points to be played for. The squad did their best last night, and a combination of luck, poor judgment on the night, and the referee and Birmingham kept us at bay. But that still doesn't preclude the necessity of getting 9 points out of these remaining 3 games. And if we do that, the season's not over. I mean, I think there was a strong sense, and I don't know how you felt last night or even this morning. I came home last night feeling pretty deflated.
Yeah, I was. I come out of there last night thinking the season was over, but you're right. There is still 3 games to go. It's not. I know it's not in our own hands no more, though, is it? If teams win their games in hand, they will go above us. But obviously,
no, there's nothing we can do about that, though.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
no.
It's a very Millwall situation. We had it, now we let it slip away, but now we've got to get it back again. And you know, I think the thing I would say to listeners is that the pressure goes across the board. Other teams, I mean, just looking at the league table, as you and me are talking about, I mean, you've got 62 points. Preston, Coventry, Sunderland, Blackburn, West Brom 63, and West Brom 63. These are all big names, and these will all want to be involved in the top 6, the playoff 4. So the pressure goes on them as much as it is on us, and I think to some extent, and I might be clutching at straws here, but last night's disappointment takes some of the pressure off of us, because it's now out of our hands. All we can do is go to Wigan on Saturday, press reset, and go again, and the same for Blackpool. The pressure's on them. They all would not want to be missing out on this. Sunderland, big club, huge stadium. So the pressure has an effect on all sides. So I think there's still twists and turns for the season. I could be clutching at straws, though. I'm well aware of that. We've got to go on to Wigan and try and press reset. I don't know if we can do that. I mean, the starting 11 last night, obviously injury brought in Malone. I didn't think Malone did too badly.
No.
Long getting a bit of criticism online for coming out for the goal. I don't know. Maybe not. He's certainly he's gone out wide. Is it wide right? And I thought the Birmingham keeper the Birmingham striker did a good job in slotting that home. But
I don't think it would have gone in, Nick, if it hadn't touched Long now, because it was going across the line. It hit Long and then deflected in. So, but what I saw, they were showing the replays in the concourse at half time, you know, because it was on Sky, wasn't it? And it looked like that.
Yeah.
The ball wasn't going to go in if it hadn't hit Long, you know.
A good goalkeeper is invaluable, Graham, isn't it? I mean, you know, it's often not the most spectacular of signings, but as we found with Bart, I wasn't aware of him prior to him coming to Millwall, but you know, when he was on form, he is worth a goal. It's a cliche, but a good goalkeeper is worth a goal. I don't think George Long is a good goalkeeper. I think he's an okay goalkeeper in moments. He made a couple of decent saves in the second half, and he did his job. I think there was an early looping shot just after kickoff in the second half, which he did well to bat that round. And I think there was a late chance would have made it 2-0, where they broke, and he kind of made himself into an awkward kind of figure in the goal, and somehow we got away with it. Now, I'm not saying bring back Bart Bielkowski particularly, because I don't think Gary Rowett will make that change this time of year. But I think going forward for next season, I think goalkeeping has to be an area we look at, because as we've seen, errors cost you, don't they? And you know, an error cost us last night. It's cost us in previous games as well.
The thing is, though, both of them keepers have signed contracts for next season, haven't they? Long and Bielkowski. So
you're not helping my day out here, Graham. You're not helping my day out. I'm trying to.
Oh, you're right. I don't. You know, I think Long's not good enough.
No,
but I'm just saying, as it stands, both of them are contracted for next.
I mean, would you be playing? Would you be playing Bart? I mean, you know, I know it's an easy. I don't know if it's an easy question or not, really. Would you be playing Bart rather than Long at the moment? Would you make that change for these last 3 games? How would you play it?
I think I would. Yeah, I would. If you're pushing me, I think I would change it. I don't think he will, but
no, I don't think he will.
I think I would bring Bart back for Saturday.
I think we need a change. We've underperformed for some games now. I haven't got the results in front of me, but we've had a sequence of results where we've not scored a goal. Scored 2 at the weekend. I appreciate, but we do need to change it. I mean, the defence kind of picks itself, and I don't anticipate him making many changes now with a Malone, Cooper and Hutch. And Danny Mack's copping a bit of flack online.
I was going to say,
would you be changing Danny? I mean, it's a bit of a hot potato in Mill circles, isn't it, to talk about Danny in a critical way?
I think maybe it may be time to just drop him out and bring Shackleton in. He can play that position, can't he?
Yeah, he can.
Just to freshen things up a little bit.
Well, given that we've got 3 must-wins, really, because I don't think we've got many places to go if we don't start winning soon, like Saturday. So I'd anticipate Callum Styles coming back, because I thought when he did come in, whether he's got 90 minutes in him or not, I don't know. That might be the only caveat for midfield.
He did look bright when he came on. Actually, there was a change. I know. So whether, as you say, whether he's got the 90, but I think he'll definitely be involved at some point.
I was thinking midfield. I mean, I don't know. Trying to anticipate.
Yeah.
Gary Rowett's mindset is a difficult thing, but I didn't see much from the midfield last night at all. I'm including even Zian Fleming. Really, I mean, he's not looked on it for some time by Zian standards. He had that shot in the first half, which the goalkeeper batted over, which was a good dead ball strike. But I don't know. He just doesn't quite look himself. I'm saying that as I'm thinking. Well, he did make the cross for the goal on Saturday. But he's not going to change Zian. I'm just thinking maybe Vogelsammer for Styles. I can't see him dropping Burke particularly, Graham, either. I think he seems to be a favoured son. No. So, and I would imagine Tom Bradshaw up front, there's no one else. We don't have any other strikers, do we? Oh dear. Yeah. There we are. It's a very Millwall situation.
Did you agree with him taking Bradshaw off last night? Is our only striker and we needed a goal? It was
no.
Strange move for me.
I mean, the only thing I'm thinking is whether he's thinking this game is gone and we're only going to get back into it by luck. That I don't know. Trying to think, put myself in Gary Rowett's shoes, save Bradshaw for Saturday. I mean, he does run himself into the ground, Tom Bradshaw. So maybe he's thinking, give him a slight break out of it. I don't know, but no. Answer your question.
Long balls, though, they whack up to him.
That I don't understand. I don't understand the long ball tactics. No. You've got a penalty area goal poacher, and not a bad one, in fairness to Tom Bradshaw. Again, I mean, we did a show recently. We're looking at Millwall heroes. He's not in the top drawer of Millwall strikers, but ever, No. But he's a decent striker. But you've got to give him the service. He's more of a sniffer in the box, isn't he? Rather than he's not a Cascarino. He's not a Steve Morrison or a Paul Moody. You're going to hit the ball long and expect him to come away with it. But for some reason, that's the style. I found myself last night, Graham, and just before we close, I thought I'm criticising the long ball where we're trying to hit long passes often at Tom Bradshaw, but then we look so jittery when we try and pass the ball. And I thought, I can't have it. I can't have it both. Can't have it both ways, can I? I can't say let's play like Barcelona, classic, and then we look like we're going to give the ball away every touch, and then say, well, we can't hit long balls either because I don't know what else we're going to do. We don't have much width, mate. I suppose that's where I'm going with it, and we do look iffy in possession. So I don't know how we're fifth. Do you? Have we done this? What are we doing in the top 6?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was analysing. I don't think since we beat Sheffield United, I don't think we've played well in a game since.
No.
Obviously it's all gone a bit.
It's gone a bit squirrely.
Wrong at the now.
Must have taken a lot out of us that fixture. But there we are. Graham, I'm going to leave it there, mate. I'm going to close out the show now with a few more of the voicemails. Huge thanks to everyone for sending in their voice notes. We've got so many. I thought I'd split it with Graham and myself, either side of it. So big thank you, Graham. Thanks for coming on the show, mate. I appreciate it.
Cheers, Nick.
And thank you to you too, dear listeners, for tuning in. We're going to close out with the voicemails. I'm going to go to Wigan on Saturday. How about that? That's how much the frenzy has caught me. I've actually bought myself a ticket to get on a train, Graham, go up to Wigan. This is the sacrifice I make for you, dear listeners. I'm getting on a fucking train. They have other people on trains, Graham. It's not like your own car, mate. Yeah, they have other people on there. Fucking hell. I'll be back at the weekend. Till then, Arrivederci Millwall. Bye for now.
Hello?
Hello, Nick. Matt Richards here. Oh, fuck's sake. Oh, I mean, part of me can't believe it, but the other part of me does believe it. It's just typical. I mean, Birmingham just got exactly what it's some shit soft goal. I don't know what was happening. I didn't think it was going to go. I don't think anybody thought it was going in. I mean, obviously, Danny got sold, and he gets the ball over, and how it went in, I don't know. Squirmed under long, I don't know, but it looks like another soft goal, and then that was it. And then sharp shot. It just shithoused us all the rest of the night, and we dominated with the ball. We just can't score goals. We just can't shoot. I mean, when we get chances, they get scuffed. Shooting from distance goes a mile over the bar. I don't know if we've got a shot on target. I think we might have done one or two. I think Burke had that scuffed effort after Fleming had mishit it, and it's just so frustrating. How many crosses we've got in the box? Nothing on the end of it. And then Bradshaw had that chance. I mean, he's got, can't have a go at the first score 15 goals, but that's the difference, isn't it? That's the difference between being a good enough team, good enough striker to get in the playoffs and get promoted, and we're not. I don't think we are. I mean, hopefully I get proved wrong, but it's probably out of our hands now. It's just I'm not going to criticise the effort. The effort was put in, but just not good enough. Can't beat Birmingham at home with all that domination and all that ball. Then we don't deserve it, really. It's just a crap night. That's it, really. I'm going Wigan Saturday. If anyone wants a ticket, they're welcome to it. But who knows? I suppose we're still in the playoffs, so by this hope, we'll cling on to that. Okay, Nick. Cheers, mate. Come on, you lads.
Hello, Nick. Hello, listeners. Ben Anthony here. Frustrated after that performance against Birmingham. I think you speak a lot about the Venerable Bede and his rules for Millwall. And I think one of the Venerable Bede's rules is that we must fuck it up against a team near the bottom of the league. It's a story that we've seen and heard so many times now. A really good result on Saturday with the build-up of hope and maybe even expectation was almost inevitably going to be followed by a 1-0 loss against the team fifth from bottom in the league. And of course it was Birmingham who I hate Birmingham because seems to be the pattern with us. Anyway, I thought we started so slowly and we were so poor in the first 20-30 minutes. We didn't deserve anything. We were awful. There were so many players not up to par in that first half. I thought Vogelsammer was poor. I thought Malone was poor. Everything went wrong with Malone. And I thought the same with Danny Mack on the right-hand side. That whole right-hand side was not working at all. I felt like there had to be substitutions at half-time. There just had to be. And for some unfathomable reason, Rowett decided it was acceptable to put them all out there again and give them another 25 minutes or whatever it was. I don't get it. I think it was so blatantly obvious that you had to make those changes quicker. I don't get what more. I don't know what it is that he brings to the squad. He didn't do anything when he came on. I'd have brought Essay on 100%. I thought Styles was good when he came on. I thought the midfield boys did their job well. And yeah, it just didn't work, particularly down that right-hand side. Just wasn't working all night. We pushed and huffed and puffed, and we had the chances. So I'm frustrated. I don't think you can really lay the blame at the referee. I don't think you could particularly say it was because of a resounding, a performance that was better than us from Birmingham. I think they defended well, but they only had one chance and they smothered it into the back of the net. I think that defeat is on us. It's our fault, and they've put themselves under a big pressure now because a lot of the chasing pack have got games in hand on us. So, we play the bottom two in the next two games, and I think if we're realistic about wanting to make these playoffs, I do think we need to be able to go and beat these teams. And if we can't, then I don't think we'll be in it. We'll be out of the playoffs, and that would be on us. So it's sort of still in our hands, and in another way, if results go against us, it's not. It's a complicated league. So many play each other. So we'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow now, and hope that some results go our way, and then we can go into these next two games and try and build up some points. We're still in it. We're not out of it, but I think it's fair to say we were all quite frustrated tonight. Anyway, come on, you Lions.
Well, Nick, what can you say after that disaster? A total, display there of, I think, where we are in terms of going forward into the playoffs. I bumped into fellow contributor Matt Richards on the way out, and we both agreed that, that's our limit. That's as far as we can go, really. And every team has its limit. You've got to applaud Millwall in a way, because these are journeymen championship players. The dearest one's £1.7 million, and it's at times like this when you see that, sort of separates the winners from the losers, really. So I don't know, I'm quite philosophical. I'm very frustrated, but it's a very familiar feeling. If you followed Millwall for as long as I have, you got used to this, and I felt before the game, I wasn't optimistic or negative. I just thought, let's see what happens, and I'm not surprised. On to the game. Birmingham weren't very good at all as far as I could see. The goal was just, you got to call things out, and I've been trying to defend, Danny, for the last few podcasts, but it was down to him, really, I've got to say. George Long came out and made a good save on a shot. The ball sprayed wide, and I don't know what Danny was doing out there, but the guy slid it along the byline, the most acute angle, and the ball just rolled into the net. And when I saw that ball just roll into the side of the net, I thought, that's the goal that's going to scupper us. Because you know how the script goes as a Millwall supporter. Yeah, we huffed and we puffed and we created a lot of chances, but we just weren't there. We didn't have the type of players, and that includes Ian Fleming, who, when it really, really comes to it, can just step up and go, bang, there's a goal. Tom Bradshaw had a brilliant chance right at the death. All he had to do was lift the ball over the goalie, but he side-footed it straight into the goalie's arms. I'm sounding, negative, and obviously I feel negative, and I'm not trying to dig the players out, but that's where we are. I suppose we've still got a chance. I can't see it myself. Talk about make things difficult, but really, if we can't dispatch teams like Birmingham, Huddersfield and Hull, we don't deserve to get up into those playoffs. Anyway, there were some good contributions tonight. I thought most of the Millwall players gave everything. Birmingham just wasted time and played the referee, and they must have wasted 15 minutes of footballing time, and they had all their bodies behind the ball. So, it's very hard to break teams down like that. The shame is we did actually break them down, but it was that final little touch in front of the goalkeeper, that we just lacked. And it's a shame. Tom Bradshaw's been so sharp on those chances all season. But, tonight it didn't work out. So, on to Wigan. Come on, you Lions.
Well, hello, my dear listener, and you can hear the rasp of my voice. Harry Warren here with post-match reaction on what was a shockingly disappointing night for the Lions last night. I don't want to be too critical. That we are where we are, but if that wasn't the most predictably Millwall performance in a time when you don't want them to be predictably Millwall, that was it. Because, take out the amount of chances we've created, take out the amount of huff and puff and effort, and I don't think we were really lacking that in the second half. The first half wasn't good enough at all, and long for that goal is so bad. It's a mistake, but it's three sort of mistakes in car crash style, and really it's now not in our own hands, barring a miracle tonight of Coventry and Blackburn giving us the result that we need, really, which is a draw. I think, maybe, I'm not too sure. I don't even know what works out best for us anymore. So there we go, another disappointing result. It should be really, 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 really bad if we throw this away, and I fear that we have. But yeah, we go on to Saturday at Wigan. You mad bastards going. Good luck. Anyway, come on, you Lions.
Achtung, Millwall.